These recordings that you're about to see were the first recordings that I did of the day. Don't they sound pretty good? I personally think they sound pretty good. It is 9:34 right now, so I think I can run through them again. It wouldn't really hurt, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I think I sound good, even the way I'm talking right now. Slow, deep, good tone. I think it's because I went to practice today, and I was doing a lot of shouting at practice. So, yeah, feeling good. I think we're definitely going to do the Deloitte interview today. Wish me luck. I don't need it, but wish it to me. This is what we've been waiting for, as I said in the last, that was the title of the last video. So, yeah, see you next clip. Peace. Hi, I'm Matthew Valencia, a junior at UC Santa Barbara, studying economics and accounting. I'm a very resourceful person that would be a great fit to be a tax intern at Deloitte. I have prior experience in tax preparation from NV Accounting Services, which is my tax preparation company that I run. I specialize in complex individual returns. These are typically people with Schedule E income that would come from rental properties or Schedule C income that would come from a small business. And while a lot of this experience has helped me build technical skills that I think will be applicable as a tax intern, the soft skills that make me successful have been built up from other experiences on my resume. For example, when I was a TA at Cal State LA, I learned how to present for 2 to 3 hours long and feel comfortable. This helped me feel comfortable presenting to clients and educating them on what was happening with their taxes. When I was running NV Professional Landscaping, another one of my business ventures, I learned the importance of managing client expectations and project management. When I worked at South Hills Country Club, I mastered the art of networking, and I'm able to use this tool for the rest of my life. And I think it'll always apply to the accounting world, especially with the client-facing aspect of it. Thank you. I originally did not want to do accounting. I was pretty set on doing real estate. After I graduated from high school, I got my real estate license and shopped around at different brokerages to see where I could work. And I very quickly realized that the day-to-day tasks of an agent revolved around kind of becoming the mayor and shaking hands rather than being some kind of analytical deal maker. And not to say that I'm not a people person, I definitely am, but I realized that I am a problem-solving person, and I'm very analytical, and I wanted to find a role that fit that criteria more. At the time, I was taking accounting classes at Cal State LA. I was doing very well in them, so I decided to shift my focus towards that, and I've loved accounting ever since. I've always had a very high view of Deloitte. My family's CPA used to work at Deloitte for 5 years before he quit and founded his own firm. He was a very sharp guy. He was extremely well-spoken, and I looked up to those traits. My second point of contact at Deloitte was through my school's accounting society on a virtual Meet the Firms event. I joined a breakout room for tax in LA, and I met George Fernandez, and we had an extensive conversation about pretty much everything related to his role in GES and everything that I knew about taxes, pretty much. I could immediately tell by the way he articulated himself that he was extremely competent, and with these 2 data points, I knew that Deloitte would have leadership that I could learn a lot from, and that's something that I really like about Deloitte. I also think that Deloitte professionals have the perfect mix of competency and social skills. My biggest strength is definitely my technical background. I have a deep understanding of what it takes to file complex individual returns, and I know how to handle client interactions on a macro level. I know Deloitte has much larger clients than what I'm used to, but I'm confident that I can apply the skills that I've learned with my clients to have a successful internship at Deloitte and hopefully a successful career at Deloitte. One thing that I'm currently working on are my delegation skills. I had a lot more practice with delegation when I was doing landscaping, but for me, it was much easier to let go of job responsibilities when the stakes were much lower. Now, if I make a mistake for a client, it could cost them thousands of dollars. If Deloitte makes a mistake for a client, it could cost them millions or even billions of dollars. And because the stakes are much harder, I find it more difficult. In order to combat this, I watch leadership podcasts during my morning workouts, typically interviews with CEOs or other high-powered leaders. And I do this to help me build the mindset that will help me establish a successful long career in public accounting. A few days after I joined the rowing team, the coaches asked one of us to lead the warm-up for the whole team. We all kind of looked around like deer in headlights, and after a few awkward moments of silence, I stepped forward and said that I would lead the warm-up. I really had no idea what I was doing, and I just quickly pieced together a warm-up from what I could remember from the days previously. It was all kind of a blur, but apparently my coaches thought I did really well because this initiative was ultimately what led me down the path to becoming a coxswain for the men's rowing team. And I learned from this experience that when I'm placed in environments, I provide leadership and guidance. I'm unafraid to venture into uncharted territory, and I know that I can lead a team even if we're given vague instructions. I failed on the first tax return that I prepared. It was a couple that was married filing jointly. They had dispositions, they had pensions, they had retirement withdrawals, they had dividends, they had interest, they had mortgage interest, they had an EV tax credit coming to them because they just bought a Tesla, and they had rental income. And I was so worried about the big things that I forgot a small detail. After I had already filed their return, I was looking at the tax summary one day and I noticed a $5,000 penalty for health insurance. And I didn't really know what it meant, so I looked it up, I found a publication on it, I read it, and I realized that that penalty was there because the tax return, because I didn't show that they had health insurance on the tax return. And because of this, I made a $5,000 difference on their refund. So they were actually owed $5,000 more. So after I realized the mistake, I called them and emailed them with my tail between my legs. I was very embarrassed, and I explained the situation to them. Fortunately, they were open-minded about it, and I amended the return and filed it again, and they got their extra $5,000 back. But that was a lesson that I learned the hard way. Always input your 1095s, even though it's a small detail to the tax return, it's still very important. So to stop this from happening again, I put together a checklist, and 1095s are at the very top of that checklist.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, and please describe why you feel that you are a strong candidate for this position.
Hi, I'm Matthew Valencia, a junior at UC Santa Barbara, studying economics and accounting. I would describe myself as a very resourceful person that would be a great fit for the tax internship at Deloitte. I have prior experience in tax from NV Accounting Services, which is my personal tax practice, where I specialize in complex individual tax returns. Typically, my clients have either Schedule E, rental income, or Schedule C, small business income. And while I think this experience helps me a lot with my technical skills, a lot of the soft skills that make me successful have been developed through the other experiences on my resume. For example, when I was a TA at Cal State LA, I gained valuable experience delivering 2 to 3 hour long presentations, and this helped me feel comfortable educating clients on what was happening with their returns. When I was running NV Professional Landscaping, another one of my business ventures, I learned how to manage client expectations and learned the importance of project management and setting realistic deadlines. When I was at South Hills Country Club, I was given the opportunity to master the art of networking, and I'm glad I did because I'll be able to take those skills with me wherever I go. And I think especially with accounting, there will always be that client-facing role where we'll need to have hard conversations with clients. That's a little bit about me. Thank you. Wait, they let me take a break though. That's kind of nice.
Strong communication skills are critical to serving clients and working on a team. Tell me about a time where you were successful in communicating with either a difficult person or under difficult circumstances. Please be clear on what you did and the specific outcome.
I had a bit of a hiccup on the very first tax return that I filed. It was a couple married filing jointly. They had dispositions, they had dividends, they had interest, they had mortgage interest, they had rental income, they had a EV tax credit because they just bought a Tesla. They had everything, and I was very focused on doing all of the big things for them that I had missed out on a small detail. So I filed the return, and a few days after, I happened to be looking at the tax summary, and I saw a $5,000 penalty for health insurance. And I knew that they had health insurance, but the tax software didn't because I forgot to put in their 1095 health insurance statement. So I was faced with a tough situation. I either tell them that I made the mistake and risk messing up the relationship, or I don't say anything and just let them go on their way. I decided, because there's a $5,000 difference, to email them, and after they didn't respond, I called them with my tail between my legs. I tried to be very sincere about the whole thing. I was just honest about it, that I missed this detail on their return, and fortunately they were happy about it because they were going to get more money back. They were a little bit concerned in the beginning, but I smoothed everything over with them. I amended their taxes, I e-filed them again, and we still have a very good working relationship. I will do their taxes again this year, and I was happy to fix the mistake.
In our business, you will frequently have competing priorities and at times put in long hours to serve our clients. Tell me about a time you had when a non-academic activity that competed for your attention and how you prioritized your time.
Fairly recently, I had a rowing practice that interfered with some of my class time. And I wasn't quite sure what to do, especially because I was new to the rowing team. So I weighed out my options. I either skip lecture and go to practice and build a relationship with the coach, build a relationship with the team, or I skip practice and go to class and theoretically get better grades, take better notes, do better on the tests. So I really couldn't figure out what to do, so I just resorted to one of my core values, which is having good communication. I think that a lot of the problems that we have come from a lack of communication or poor communication. And to solve this problem that I had, I just used communication. I reached out to my professors via email, and I reached out to my coach, and I kind of asked what was going to come up for practice, what was going to come up in lecture. I asked them if it would be okay to miss, and they both got back to me. Fortunately, they were both easygoing about the situation, and I decided to get my rowing practice switched with another practice so that I could still get the same amount of time exercising, and I was able to attend my lecture. But ultimately, going back to the core values, I think communication is really the key in situations like this, and I think people are typically easygoing when you do things proactively instead of reactively. Man, that was a hard one. That was a tough one. Water. Come on, Brittany. Good question.
Please describe a time or situation in your life in which you faced a challenge. How did you approach the situation, and what was the outcome?
After a few days of joining the rowing team, one of the coaches, kind of out of nowhere, asked us, the new members, the novices, to do the warm-up by ourselves and have someone lead. We all did not expect this, and we all looked at each other like deer in headlights. And after a few brief moments of silence, of awkward silence, I decided to step forward, and I told the coaches and my team that I could lead the warm-up. I really didn't know what I was doing. I felt a lot of pressure with everyone watching me, and I put myself in kind of a challenging situation. Apparently I did a good job because the coaches were really impressed with what I did, being thrown into the deep end, and this was ultimately what got me my role, or got me on the path to becoming a coxswain for the men's rowing team. When I was doing the warm-up, I just focused on being loud. I focused on being concise with my commands. I focused on leading the team confidently, even if I was making mistakes. And I think that was what they really admired about my communication skills. And I think that's something that I've improved a lot over time. I improved it a lot when I was a TA, and I think I will continue to improve it when I have my internship at Deloitte.
The ability to successfully work in teams is critical to our business. Please describe your leadership style and tell me about a time it has positively impacted a project or task when working with others.
So at my rowing practice, we were going over some drills. We were having everybody row at once, and I noticed, being from the boat captain position, that someone was rowing out of sync. And I kind of ignored it at first. I just kept giving my commands and my call-outs, and this person could not get in sync. And so I realized that we couldn't continue like this and that the person needed some extra attention. So I had everyone stop. I had that person and their partner, who was on the other end of the boat, just row and sync by themselves, and until they got it down and could get in sync with the rest of the team. I understand that it sounds kind of cliche, but I understand that you are only as fast as the slowest person on your team, and when you have people that are not at the level of everyone else, they need the extra attention. And I have no problem with giving that extra attention. I think it builds better relationships with the team, and I think that's a really important part of my leadership style, is making sure that everyone is on the same level, and once everyone's on that same level and we all have that foundation down, we can all succeed together. And I think that is one of the biggest parts of my leadership style. I also think that we feed off of energy. If I am presenting, if I'm presenting a good environment for other people, if I'm giving other people a good environment, they're going to reciprocate that same environment, and it'll lead to a more positive environment. I think that's another really big thing. First round Deloitte interview complete. I emailed the recruiter with my availability for the second round, and we'll see what happens with that. I thought it went okay. I only stuttered like a few times on the questions, and PwC is tomorrow, so that's fun as well. I also did some virtual work today for Guardian CPA. What did I do? Researched how to form and establish a Florida LLC. So I know everything about doing Florida LLCs right now. So that's really cool. I was really worried about the research aspect and about how long it would take. And I'm like, well, what if it takes like hours or like whatever? Like, we're gonna charge people 8 hours to just do like something small? Like, that seems crazy. But it actually went by. I actually learned a lot in a short period of time. I was only working on it for about an hour and a half, and I have a whole page of notes, and I feel really confident on how to do it. So I guess that means I'm crazy smart. I don't know. But the model for how working in the office is starting to piece together in my head and starting to make more sense now. So that is cool. What else? I don't know what else. Yeah. Anyways, successful day today. Peace. I will see you tomorrow. If there are any clips, then it'll just go to the next clip, but bye. Also, an alumni showed up at rowing practice today. So that was pretty cool. She just showed up at practice and she was there talking with coach and she saw me Cox. And I don't really know what she does for work. I don't think she does something related to my field, but if and when I do meet someone from the rowing team who does something in finance, that would be awesome because I'm the coxswain, I'm like in charge of the team. Leadership skills are off the charts. So maybe that could be a potential way to get a opportunity. So yeah, that would be a great way. That would be a great way for the rowing team to pay itself off. Anyways, that is probably all I got. I'm not sure. Peace out. Good night.